Hi everyone, it's Michael and
Matt
from Bullion.
Oh
Whoa,
no,
the scene's falling apart already.
and there's no second take.
From Bullion Now, bullionnow.com.au. Welcome. How are you, Matt?
I'm so good. I'm flat out. It's all happening.
Yeah.
Never a dull moment here. It's good stuff.
It's been a day, hasn't it? In fact,
has.
it's been a week.
Yeah, it has indeed.
Nothing but non-stop chaos this week.
Yeah, oh, it's
So,
nice.
Right up till about 30 seconds before we went live, Ruben was running around, squealing and yelling.
This is a time to relax and unwind.
I noticed DJ was in the corner, sipping his Coke. Feet up, like, it's all going to happen. It's all right. So good fun. So welcome everyone. We're here. We're missing Joe.
We are.
So anyone know where he's gone?
I don't actually know what happened. He stood up. He said, I think his phone went off and out he went like Superman.
Yeah, he did.
He's a popular guy.
You reckon it's because he's scared he's going to lose this
It could be
this
a
challenge between us?
Was that scheduled for today or is that
No, it's
Monday?
actually
Okay.
officially finishes on Monday. So for those that don't know what we're talking about, we did a video earlier on this week. It shows we're going a little loopy in lockdown because we did a fireside chat with, I think it was Uncle Joe and Grandpa Mike or something silly like that. And it's obviously I have this massive complex over the fact that Perth Mint stuck a picture of a kookaburra on a bird bath on the 2022 kookaburra coin that's released on Monday. And I still think it's probably the most irrelevant picture they could have chosen, but that's what they chose. So we threw out a challenge out there that if anyone can come up with a photo, a real photo, not a photoshopped one, a real photo of a kookaburra on a bird bath taken this week, preferably with the Bullion Now slogan slid into the side.
Yeah, he didn't make it easy.
That I would wear a kookaburra costume, which we still haven't sourced, on Monday morning. And there have been some incredible entries, I have to say.
Yeah.
If you actually manage to achieve that, we promise to give you, free of charge, nada, absolutely cost-free, one free 2022 1-ounce silver kookaburra. So for the first 10 people that could manage it. Now, we've had no one successfully do it that I'm aware of, although Ruben may correct me later on.
We're very close.
But there have been some exceptional ones sent in. There's one of a picture of Joe's head, and I think off the top of my head that was. That's right, on the start screen. So I think pretty sure that was from Dave Hunter. Dave Hunter, I think that one. No, I can't remember. I know there's three, I think, at the moment that are just exceptional. So there was that one, and I thought that was definitely worthy of an entry. So that one will actually slide in.
So he's still here in spirit then.
Yeah,
that's still
right.
part of the stream.
We've also had another two, and I was hoping we could slide them into today's live stream, but we didn't get a chance. It's been chaos in the store with the click and collect today. So there was that one.
We'll show them on Monday.
We will.
Yeah.
We'll have them all up there. There's another one with someone that's made a homemade bird bath, if you like, with a cutout of a kookaburra. I thought that
clever.
one was exceptional.
Yeah.
But the one that's really standing out for me, and I think they've actually done two, they've really gone all out, or two scenes where they had a wheelie bin and they'd printed out a big Bullion Now sign and stuck it to the wheelie bin, and then they'd put a metal dog bowl, if you like, and it's obviously got some tasties in there. It's not a bird bath, and they've got a bird which I don't think it's a kookaburra. I think
they seem to think it's a baby one. You don't seem so sure.
I reckon it's a butcher bird or something along those sort of lines. But I might
Couldn't
stand
tell you
corrected.
the difference.
Either way, it is definitely
It's a great effort. I think it's fantastic.
A for effort.
Yeah, I definitely think we should slide that one into the thing. Anyway, enough rabbiting on.
Yeah. Well, on that front, what would you have put in terms of that coin design? What would you put? If not the bird bath, what are you putting a kookaburra on?
Just about anything. I mean, they've got 33 years of kookaburra designs out there, and
they've done a tin roof. Brilliant. They've done a barbed wire fence.
Have they done a power line? They're always sitting on the power line out the back of our place.
That's a good one.
So are you getting rid of that, are you?
They were sitting in the corner.
It's a
if you want to reassemble it, then we can.
You can have it on a power line. You can have it on a farm shed. You can have it on a... Like, there's so many different things that are very, very Australian kookaburra-ish scenery that we could have run with. But either on a Roman column, and I'm still not convinced it's not a Roman column, or a bird bath. I just don't. Anyway, we've done this to death.
Yep. What else is happening? What else is new in the world of bullion?
So we've got Jeff Bridges says hi from Canada, and obviously our daylight savings time makes it easier for him. So glad we could accommodate, mate. Peter Grace says g'day. Dave Hunter says hi. Blue, g'day Blue. From the States there. MSKR's tuned in. Dave Hunter thinks he's won the competition. You're a definite up there, mate.
Yeah, hot contender.
Yeah, Midnight Gardener's in. Yeah, there's a few in there, which is good to see. All right, we need some questions. I can say with him, I've never seen it. Yeah. Oh, good on you, Jeff Bridges. I can say with 100% conviction I have never seen a kookaburra on a bird bath. Then again, I've never actually seen a kookaburra. Don't think we have them here in Canada. It's probably a fairly safe call, that one, mate. MSKR, still recovering from yesterday's epic unboxing. What a show. What did you think of that?
Me too.
Mate?
That was... I realise how pathetic I look and sound. I was knackered after that. It was... because I think it's like the excitement. It's a lot of fun. And I don't know. Yeah, the weight. Yeah, I think that might have been it. Like deceptive, like lifting up all those.
Well, you got the 100 ounce.
Yeah,
like
all 100 ounce. Exactly. Yeah.
All the 100 ounces. Yeah.
And I'm lugging them around like they're 1 ounce coins. And then by the end of it, I was knackered.
You and Joe were doing some gold. Matt was over in the corner doing all the silver.
Yeah.
I think I did fractional platinum.
Planned to perfection that was.
Well, paying the bills has got to come with occasional privileges.
Yep. Oh, it keeps me fit.
Alrighty, I got one here.
Yep.
So this is from T&P Holdsworth. Hi, would you consider a channel on an independent video site such as BitChute or Brighteon, as well as YouTube to upload your videos for viewing? I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, once we're generating the content for one, we can upload it somewhere else as well. I think it's just a matter of getting the YouTube schedule consistent first, and then there's no reason at all we can't upload somewhere else.
I have no issue with that, as long as it's no major hassle. We should look into that.
One thing we're also looking at doing that's in the works, that DJ and I are having a play around with, is a kind of multi-stream. So being able to put it to multiple places at once, not just YouTube, but it could be at a few other places like Twitch and whatever as well. So it may not be YouTube now.
There you go.
This is a good slide in. We can also do TikTok, Facebook.
Oh, TikTok.
TikTok. Do we have a TikTok channel?
We have a TikTok channel, and Emma over at EDC has done an amazing job with it. She is all over it. Emma and Kelsey, and a special shout out to Sylvia. Does a wonderful job down at EDC. I've not been encouraged to say any of this.
You're obviously open to bribery.
He seems a little under duress. But no, so yeah, hopefully in the not too distant future we'll be able to do that as well. So.
Oh, actually, I've got a message from EDC. So normally this is the section of the video where I apologise for all the things I've done wrong with EDC in the last week. And it's usually long. But this week, Emma has to send her apologies. And I can't remember what for, but one of them was because she barracked for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, that's a bit sad. I felt bad. I felt bad watching the game. I was thinking,
You just feel sorry for her going for the Bulldogs anyway.
Jeez.
So, yeah, there we go. We might leave that one there before I dig that hole any deeper. We've done that one there. I'll move that one to later. This is from... this is from Adam Florio.
Yep.
Just curious to know what your thoughts are on playing the gold to silver ratio. Do you think it works by playing the ratio? With that being said, what metal do you think is a good buy at the moment? I walked into that trap, didn't I? What do you think?
Interesting take, and I don't know if it was with the interview that I did or the one he did with me, Silver Joker. I asked him about this, whether or not he has gold, because he's predominantly focused on silver. And his take on it is that he just looks at the ratio and he says, I visualize for every 80 ounces of silver, that is an ounce of gold in my mind. And so for that reason, he doesn't have a big focus on gold. He just mentally does the
gymnastics.
Yeah, and just says, so if I want gold, I don't actually go out of my way to get it. I just know that if I ever need to, I can convert X amount of silver into gold, which obviously works well if you've got the capacity to store big volume, particularly with silver. But I've never
always worked that way, because a couple of years ago, basically when COVID kicked off, the ratio was just below 100 to 1.
Yeah, yeah.
And I said it would never break through 100, and it actually went up to, I think it was 129 it peaked out at. So
yeah, it got
for
right up there.
Yeah, for every ounce of gold, you could get 129 ounces of silver, or in reverse. So his 80 to 1 wouldn't have worked at that point.
The premiums were going ballistic at that point as well, though. So that was, you know, to get that deal would have been quite impressive to do that straight swap, right?
Yeah, it would have. But having said that, I hate this because I end up plugging one of our products in. It's the perfect time to take advantage of something like an unallocated program, which is premiumless. So you can actually buy a product like that and then convert it back at a later stage. But I'm actually a big fan, Adam, of the gold-silver ratio swap. You've got to be really careful. If you're buying investments for the gold-silver ratio swap or any of the ratio swaps, so you can do it with platinum, a little harder with palladium and rhodium in Australia because of GST issues, but certainly between gold, silver and platinum, you can do the ratio swap. You have to be careful if you plan on doing it with physical because of that premium. You don't want to be buying any high premium items if your intention is to do the ratio swap. You want the lowest premium you can possibly get away with. But yeah, I'm a big fan of it. We used to do it quite consistently in days gone by. The ratio is kind of blown out quite a bit. Like I said, at one point we're up there at 129 to 1 for a while, so that was a bit harder to play. We didn't know what was going on at that point. But yeah, I think it's good. With that being said, what metal do you think is good buy at the moment? I've said this before, I'll say it again. It's not investment advice, but I'm a big platinum fan at the moment, and I'm a big fan of a platinum ratio swap as well. So setting that up.
As in swapping from platinum to which?
Well, either. I'd be stocking platinum at the moment with an eye on the platinum silver or platinum gold ratio, but particularly the platinum gold ratio.
Yeah.
Because it is traditionally out of whack at the moment. By quite a bit.
Yep.
But yeah, that's what I'd look at. Again, not investment advice, but a lot of people talk about the gold-silver ratio swap. You don't see a lot of people talking about the platinum other metal ratio too much, but that's certainly one to keep an eye on.
A number of the people I've spoken with about this recently say that their logic for not getting into platinum is that historically it has not been used as a monetary metal.
Absolutely.
What's your take on that?
I think that's 100% right. But you've got to look at why you're buying it. Are you stacking a precious metal because it's got a monetary value? Each of the three main precious metals, gold, silver and platinum, have their own role. Again, not investment advice. This is just my navel gazing over the last 49 years.
Yeah.
So gold you buy specifically because it's secure. It's got 5,000 years of history behind it as money, effectively, throughout many civilizations, throughout many millennia. Silver is a different purchase. Yes, it has a monetary history, but it's got a far more industrial history as well than gold ever has. So gold is used a little bit in industry, yes, but silver is used a lot in industry. It's used a lot in the jewelry manufacturing as well. It's also used in many other things as well. Plus, it has that financial monetary item as well.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit more of a play, but you'll see, and by the fact that it's quite as volatile as it can be at times, it's not as secure as gold would be. And I know I've just upset a few people, but it's not as secure as gold would be because of that industrial metal component to it. Platinum takes that to the next level. So it isn't really, it has been used as monetary things in times gone by, but not to any large degree. But it really is that industrial metal. It's still considered to be a precious metal, but it is very much an industrial one. So it's a play on that industry coming back, what happens after COVID and into the real world. So I think your comment is valid, but I think you're buying each one for slightly different reasons. One's for security. I want to be able to buy, I want to be able to preserve my purchasing power from now till the end of time.
Yep.
That's gold. I want to be able to preserve my purchasing power, but I want a bit of spice in it. That's silver. I want real spice in it, like some real volatility, because that's where the money's made. I want some real volatility, but I still want that security of owning a precious metal. That's platinum.
Yep. Oh, good stuff. Love it.
On that broader platinum subject, Sylvia said that she's had someone ring through and want to jump on and talk about platinum as a thing. I think she's got another customer on the phones at the moment. But yeah, in a second there may be a customer that rings through and wants to
let's do it.
chat platinum. So
Yep.
I'll let you know when that happens.
The Midnight Gardener. I am a fan of rhodium. I'm a fan of it too. I just don't like the GST component to it in this country. It makes it a bit hard work.
I've actually got a pretty interesting comment. There's a comment on here by Tony CV. Looking at starting collecting silver bars and coins. Do premiums on coins vary much, and is rarity of silver coin add much value / premium?
Potentially.
It's a neat question to ask for you guys.
This is a little bit up your alley.
It is indeed, and this is one that I've had a few conversations recently about this as a subject. So there would be 3 categories that I would mentally put any given coin into, and that would be straight up bullion, which would be for me the low premium or the lower premium coins like the kangaroo, something like that. You then enter what a lot of people refer to as semi-numismatic. Silver Dragons actually did a video dedicated to these 3 categories recently, which was quite good. It gives you an overview. Semi-numismatic, which are things like the Royal Australian Mint investment coins, like the Desert Scorpion, the kookaburra, things like that. You want we've got a caller.
I've got Sylvia here.
We can do that. We'll finish. I'll finish this off because the third one, and then the third one being strictly numismatic. That's where you get into coins like a rare florin, which would have an intrinsic value of $10, but would have a retail value of over $1,000. That's when you're really into the collectible high-end side of the market, which is what I love. But all 3 of them have their own place in a collection or a stack.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, Sylvia.
Hi, how is everyone this afternoon?
Better now.
We're good now.
Oh, good. It's been a bit of a crazy day, hasn't it?
Certainly has.
I've got Alex on the phone. He is interested in asking some questions in regards to platinum. And I think they're really interesting questions. It's in regards to what happens if you handle it too much and those sort of questions. But I think it'll be really interesting. So I'll transfer him through for you.
Was this Adam, did you say?
Alex.
Alex. My apologies, Alex.
That's all right. I'll just transfer him through.
All right, good stuff.
Thank you.
And there was silence.
Yeah.
There we go.
Here it is.
We right? G'day, Alex.
G'day guys, how are you going?
Good, yourself?
Yeah, not too bad, thanks. I just wanted to know about platinum and handling it and corrosion, if it's safe to handle.
I have no issue with handling it. If you're talking about a lump of platinum, so a platinum bar, I got no problem with handling it without gloves on or anything like that. Sure, it's going to absorb some of the oils and that from your hands, or if you've been handling anything, it might pick up, foreign chemicals from it.
Yeah.
The worst case scenario is it's going to provide a bit of toning to it, but at the end of the day, it's still a kill.
Concerned. Look at me in the freeze frame there.
No, thoughtful.
Yeah. Deep with the contemplating your answers, Michael.
Are you still there, Alex?
Look, we're back.
Bit
No,
of
we're not.
movement. Have lost their live feed.
Okay, if you can see us, great. If you can't see us, really sorry. But we'll keep going as though we can. We don't actually know what the hiccup is there. We've got 2 guys squirreling away on keyboards in the background trying to work out if we're actually on or not. But let's assume we are. So,
We've still got the call with Alex here. I'm not sure if he's...
Alex, can you hear us still or not? Okay, we're going to assume that Alex has dropped back, or dropped out. So sorry about that, Alex. Hope we answered your question.
Oh, you're back. Well, maybe. Fixed issue for me.
Well,
I can see you now.
To be running. All right, have we got Alex back or has he disappeared?
No.
Okay. The one thing that we don't talk about ever is the fact that sometimes toning is actually a good thing.
It is indeed. Sometimes even desirable. You can add a significant premium to a coin with the right kind of toning.
Yeah, some of the old pennies
Yeah.
Like you see them go at auction for like thousands of dollars just because they've got this rainbow toning through
Yeah.
them.
Yep.
So,
Which is very difficult to. It sounds like a simple process, but it's something that has to happen naturally and over time. You can generally. Oh, this could be return
Alex back.
caller.
This may be a return call. Hello, hello.
Hello, we have Alex back on the line.
Ah, nice one.
Welcome back.
Brief
Oh, no,
intermission.
send him through.
Oh, okay, thank you.
We're back.
G'day, Alex. Sorry about that, mate.
What's happening, boys? You hung up on me.
Yeah, I think somebody's watching us and they pulled the plug. Didn't like what we were saying.
No, I missed your answer a bit, but I just wanted to know, is that the same with a platinum coin?
No. So platinum coins are the one time where I'd actually say use the glove. And I'd say that with pretty much any coin. If it's a kangaroo, probably not, because they are designed just as a lump of bullion. But if it's this year's platinum tiger, if you're lucky to get hold one of those, if you're lucky enough to get hold of one of those, I'll speak English in a minute. There's no way I'd take one of those out of its capsule and handle that with my bare hands, because you are going to do some damage with it. But
Okay.
yeah, it comes back to Matt and I don't know if it went through live on air or not, but Matt and I were just saying in some cases the toning actually adds to the value, because you can get some really beautiful rainbow toning through some of the metals sometimes with the oils from your hands over time.
Okay. And also, I guess, would that be the same with palladium?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. Any of those precious metals, if it's a lump like a bar, we don't care, because it's always based on its weight and purity and that type of thing. But when it comes to coins, it's a different argument. It's a little bit like art. I'm going to be rude for a second, but when your kids bring home their art from kindergarten, you love it, but it's not worth anything. But and you can handle it however you like. However, if you're handling the Mona Lisa or something like that, you're going to have gloves on.
Depends who your kid is, I suppose. What's their reputation like?
Okay, well, any of my kids, and I'm hoping they're not watching. Does that answer your questions, mate?
Yeah. Thanks very much, guys.
No worries at all, mate. Thanks for joining in.
Yeah, thanks. Appreciate it. Bye.
No worries.
See you, mate.
See ya. I knew I shouldn't have said that. Will you get more platinum tigers in? It's pretty unlikely. We are still trying, though. I have to admit to that.
Here's a good question from Anthony. Hi, I've lost it. Message retracted. Well, I'm going to try and answer it anyway. The question was, is there a book on all bullion coins that have been released? So much in the same way we have, the Renix guide for Australian coins and banknotes. Do we have one for bullion?
But that one's not specifically for bullion. It's modern. Well, I guess it is. It's gold coins. It's the World Gold Coins catalogue.
Yep. Present being, this is an old Kraus.
Yeah, so it's probably 5 or 10 years old, I'd say. But yeah, you find them in the library, believe it or not. You quite often find the big encyclopedic books on these types of things.
Yeah.
Renix produce one that's particularly Australian, don't they?
Yeah, no real emphasis on bullion. They acknowledge it, but it's not a bullion catalogue as such. As far as I'm aware, I'm not aware of what would be handy to see is an extensive list of every bullion coin ever issued in the world, but it'd probably be a bit thicker than that.
Yeah, it really would. Look, you can also go to some of the websites, particularly if you're looking at bars. I need Joe here for this one. He communicates quite regularly with, is it the Harrington guys? No.
That have the rarity guide on the bars and stuff like that. Yeah,
That's the Engelhard.
Engelhard, that's the one.
Yep.
The Engelhard guys. So they've got a website there that lists, rarity of the bar, and
it's good.
I think they even give approximate values. They certainly give approximate numbers still in existence and that sort of stuff. So those sort of things are really good. And with that type of thing, Google's your friend. Really use Google resources for that.
Yeah.
Next question, mate.
If you guys had $1,000 to spend today, what would you buy from your website?
It feels like a loaded question.
I actually don't even know what's on the website at the moment.
Well, since we did that unboxing, jeez.
What would I buy at the moment?
$1,000. Do you have any half-ounce platinum?
It's sold out. It's not actually on the website.
Oh, that didn't last long.
Those half-ounce platinum coins were a screaming bargain.
Yeah.
We should have jacked the price on those quite a bit.
Yep.
But they were
missed
a
the
good
boat
buy.
on that.
Yeah, they were good.
Speaking-
Completers. I'd absolutely get
yeah.
some completers. I think. Actually, there was a question earlier on, and I meant to grab it about: do you think the completer will become part of a valuable set from the Royal Mint?
I think it already is. Technically, you know, it caps off what has been an incredibly popular series in... I think that I can see how some people would be a little ticked off by it though, because apparently there were boxes issued with, you know, the full, I think there were 10 in the set, and then they've capped it off with this additional coin that doesn't actually have a place in the official Royal Mint box.
Well,
but
apparently they've issued new boxes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, to
Okay.
include it. I think it was... I hope Royal Mint's not watching this. I think that wasn't a class act, that one.
Yeah.
Because it was almost a little bit of, this has been really successful. We can squeeze another coin out of this, you know.
Which I'm glad they did, because it saved me going back and having to get them all. But if you'd been following it diligently and, you know, you've got your whole collection, I can see how that would be a little inconvenient, perhaps.
The one good thing is it actually didn't detract from the collection. So it didn't...
That's right. No,
people
you
didn't
didn't
go,
see...
we're going to dump the collection.
The
or
value
anything
didn't
like that.
plummet across the board. If anything, it probably raises even more awareness on the series as a whole. So you'll have people that are, once again, going back, having a nightmare of a time trying to get the old ones.
Yeah. So, yeah. The Kilo Collector, I reckon, is going to be the pick of the bunch.
I would totally agree. And you get a good depiction of each of the animals as well.
Yeah, so...
What's the go with those, Michael? When are they coming in? Yeah, you raised it.
Next question.
I wasn't going to say anything.
What about the 10-ounce cook?
The 10-ounce cook. Oh, we got to do the 10-ounce cook. Just come back to the Kilo Collector for a millisecond. We've actually been issued with a shipping notice. So
cool.
they have actually... I don't know if they've departed, but they've certainly planned on departing their point of origin. They have had, from the rumours and gossip, and I haven't had this confirmed by anyone, so don't take this to the bank, but it sounds like they've had trouble with the production, with the capsules on them, and that type of thing. So I think we're going to find this is probably the hardest one to collect out of the collection. So my suggestion is, if you can find them, grab them. If you've already got them, well done.
Yep.
We have such a small number, it's not funny. It almost makes the 10-ounce kookaburra we're about to talk about look like we've got billions of them. So, yeah, it's one of those rare cases where I suggest, shopping around. If you can find it, I really would grab that Kilo completer from wherever you can grab it from if you're interested in it. On that note,
yes,
the 2021 10-ounce kookaburra. So for anyone that wasn't tuned in last week, we announced that anyone that watched the show, we didn't actually advertise it anywhere else at all. Only if you watched the live stream. We asked if you're interested in getting a 2021 10-ounce silver kookaburra to email in your name, and we would draw them out of the hat because they are an incredibly limited production. We're estimating, and again, I don't have any guidance on this, but we're estimating that no more than about 2,500-3,000 will have been produced for the year, because for quite a while there, they actually weren't going to produce them at all. So it was only through some backroom dealing or comments that they were actually convinced to produce it, which was really good of them. I'm really pleased they did.
Yeah.
We only got, I think we made a grand total of 30 available because it's pretty much all we got. It's a lucky dip thing. So we did the lucky dip earlier on today, or I shouldn't say we. I think Joe and...
I've got no idea what happened.
Yeah, well, you were on the phones.
I was on the phones, working away.
I think Joe, Ruben and DJ actually did it under camera, and we're going to show you 5 or 10 seconds of it because we don't want to bore you silly. Of all the names being picked out. Now, I believe, DJ, correct me if I'm wrong, we've sent out the emails for the lucky winners.
We're about to.
We're about to send out.
We want to announce what has happened before going. send. So
Okay.
as soon as
Someone might be
says-
watching and be ready to hit the button, ready to fire
Okay,
away.
well, if Marin's watching and she's able to, if you could send out the emails, you should get them before the end of the live stream, I'd suggest, or very shortly after. So for the lucky winners, they'll get an email, and I don't know if I'm allowed to call them winners. The people who are able to purchase the 10-ounce coin from us, here we go, it's up on our screen. So the people who have been selected that can order them, you'll get the email with the link to ordering it. For those that missed out, look, I'm really, I'm embarrassed at how few we got. I know we got, from what I can tell, we got more than any other dealer in Australia, and we still got, 30 we're talking. So it's a pitiful amount, and I apologise. If it's any consolation, I missed out as well. I'm pretty devastated about that because I've now got a hole in my collection.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just one of those things. We tried to come up with ways that were fair. This was the fairest way. I know we got a little bit of pushback from a couple of different people saying we should just make them available on the website and give a release time. For any of those that were around for the 5-ounce ox debacle, they would realise why I was so reluctant to ever do that again. It caused a crash of the website. It caused so much friction, and it took us weeks and weeks to unpick that mess. And I still don't think we've actually ever properly unpicked it anyway. So yeah, it's not fair. If we do that, people miss out and all sorts of things. So this was the best way we could come up with doing it.
I think it was a good idea. Well, it remains to be seen how successful it's been, but I think that was as fair as you could be.
The offer has been sent, so in your emails, if you got it, congrats.
Great. So now we've got no viewers because they're all now madly checking their emails.
Yeah, do it in a separate tab.
Yeah. So if you did get an email, that's great. You don't have to order it right this second. It's the ones that are listed up there. They'll be listed up there until you purchase it, sort of thing. Certainly till the end of the weekend. Please do not share the link. If anyone shares the link and we find out that more than 30 have been sold, then we will start undoing some, and yours hopefully will be one of them if you've shared the link. So please don't share it. We're doing the best we can on these things.
Alrighty, are you getting the Creatures of the North series? Is this the Canadian one with the werewolf? Yeah, that's gonna be cool.
Yeah, you're into that one?
Yeah, I think it's nice. Look, I like it. It's no Kraken, let's be honest.
Yeah.
The Kraken was wildly cool. Maybe this will grow on me though. Maybe it's a time thing. I need to spend a bit of time with it. We'll do an unboxing when they turn up. Maybe I'll fall in love during the B-roll phase. We'll see what happens.
Pick them out of the hat. Good job, yep. Where are we up to? If I'm a lucky winner, I can trade with you. Somebody's offering already to sell it to me at twice the price, I think. Seriously though, you never say pay whatever they ask, but this is going to be one that, this is not financial advice, this is going to be one, in my opinion, that is going to be a key and will be a very good investment. So if you can find it within reason, don't pay a ridiculous amount, but if you can pick one up probably under $450, I would say grab it with your ears pinned back. Even at getting around the 500, I'd probably pay it fairly happily. I'd be reluctant to go over 500, but that's probably more a reflection on me.
Shove, yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah. The Fox got an email, but it said better luck next time. I'm sorry, mate. That's a bit harsh.
Yeah.
Someone's just had a coronary.
There was a really interesting question from the Fox earlier that I wanted to go back and touch on, and it was talking about banks being obligated to give you the face value of coins, and it was asking if foreign exchange counters would give foreign currency for. So if I was to go down and give an eagle over to it, is there any kind of thing there where they would have to provide the equivalent foreign currency?
No, because a foreign exchange is not an Australian registered bank. So it's a private business, so they are under no obligation to do that in this country. I can't speak for other countries. So the short answer on that is no. They may choose to.
Yeah.
Because
particularly if they recognise the difference between the metal value and the face value.
Absolutely, because not every case, but most cases you'll find that the metal is worth far more than the face value anyway. So if you've got a wise foreign exchange person, the chances are they will. But look, they're under no obligation to. Blue, Michael, can I work for Bullion Now? Open up a US office and I'll manage it. Mate, if we open up there, we'll let you know, and absolutely you can...
Would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, well, we've got a few people that... a couple of guys here that want us to open a Texas office, so I hear. Can't imagine why.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful place. The Guam Stacker, who I found out, he answered me. He's actually from Guam, so fantastic. Cool. A fantastic little place.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good spot. So, Guam Stacker, is it still worth it to stack precious metals if the only way to buy or sell is through the post? So I'm assuming there's no plans to open Guam Bullion now that I'm aware of.
We'll see. I wouldn't rule anything out.
Yeah, we're pretty mental, particularly under lockdown. We seem to be losing the plot.
Yeah,
So.
oh yeah, if you're going to be dressing up as a kookaburra, I think we've got options. Plenty of runway.
I would say it is still worth it. It certainly adds an extra layer of complication to your stack. You need to be very careful about how you stack. It may be that you take, again, I'm pushing one of our products, and
I've been doing this all day. I know what you're about to say, right? So you accumulate a few orders.
Yeah.
I was going over this on the phone today, and I think it's a great idea. And I never thought about it until walking someone through it today, and they commented on how helpful that is for their ability to build up a decent amount and save on postage. So they worry, if the 2-ounce Queen's Beast completer comes up, they think, oh geez, I really want that, but I also want some other stuff to go along with it, but I can't afford it right now. Yeah. You don't want to get stung for postage every time you buy a single coin. So if you build it up over a few orders and then get it all combined, I think it's a great idea. And I'm not aware of many other places doing it. Maybe they do, but I think it's pretty good.
I'm actually not aware of any that do it, but having said that, I don't tend to shop too often at other bullion dealers for some reason.
Yeah.
But
I think it's great. And it's, the reception to it, which has been interesting because, being on the phones the past couple of days, it's really good, so people love it.
Yeah. So find a dealer that allows you to stack up a few in their storage facility, whatever it is. We do it at no cost. I'm assuming other dealers do it, but they're probably few and far between. So build a few up and then just get the whole lot shipped out in one hit. That makes it a bit easier. The other path you can look at going down is maybe some unallocated, so it's stored off site.
Yeah.
Not so good if you're the type of guy that's if you don't hold it, you don't own it, sort of thing. But it's another string in your bow, if you like. So hope that answers the question a little.
Did you see the one go through for you talking about a particular? I think it was a domed coin.
Domed coin.
Recently purchased the 2019 The New World.
New World, Captain Cook's Journey. Domed coin. I love those. I think that particularly, and I've said this before in the past, coins like that have a unique shape, but the shape, and they did it with the moon landing as well, where it actually relates to the subject matter. It's not just a dome coin for the sake of we have this technology, therefore we will use it. It's, being like the dome, the new world, all that kind of jazz. It all ties in really nicely. Yeah. So I think that's a great coin. That whole series was really interesting. So that was early on in the Royal Australian Mint doing the domed coins. I think that was one of the, possibly even part of the first batch of their domed series. So I love it. I thought it was really good. Although maybe in 2016, or 2019, that was the anniversary of the moon landing, wasn't it? Mm. I love that stuff. I think it's so good.
All right, I got one here. I got an email here from Lee. Has there been any thought given to offering a 2FA on account sign-in? So correct me if I'm wrong, Rubes. That's where
two-factor authentication.
Yeah. So you sign in with your mobile phone, don't you? With an app on your mobile phone.
Same as if you're logging into a bank or anything like that, it'll ask for a text on your device. It just means that they haven't got control of just your email or just that password. They would also need other things as well. So just covering your bases.
The short answer is yes. There's been a very brief conversation about it, but we're actually having and I've said this in the last couple of live streams, we're actually having our whole back end of the website and back end of our bookkeeping system overhauled at the moment. So it's not impossible that doesn't occur in the not too distant future, but I'm also not guaranteeing that it will, but hopefully something along those sort of lines. And Lee, I know you go on for a little bit more about phishing attacks and tightening security, and I actually completely agree with what you're saying on these things. So good stuff.
Yeah.
You got one there, mate?
Yeah, let's have a look.
I've got one. It's been asked a couple of times. Any ideas when the 1 ounce Opal Tiger will be released?
Oh, help me. This is an LCS question. You have
It
an
is.
answer to
No,
this?
I do not off the top of my head. Yeah. Yeah, I should be able to change hats, but no, off the top of my head, I'm not sure. It'll be absolute chaos. It's going to be a stampede.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's in the new year. Like
Yeah.
it comes out kind of that February, March sort of time. It's not been in the EOIs that we've had from Perth Mint yet, so it's not in November or December.
Yep.
I'd suggest it's that early first quarter of next year. So you haven't missed it, if that's what you're asking
Yeah,
about.
there will be an unboxing.
Absolutely, there will be an unboxing on that one. So stay tuned. But yeah, another one that get hold of, not financial advice, get hold of.
You need a
when it's
running
released.
subtitle.
Just get that run along the bottom. This is not financial advice. This is not financial advice. But yeah, getting hold of those as soon as they're released, I would suggest is an excellent idea if you can.
Yeah.
For those wondering, Joe has taken the afternoon off. I saw a couple of questions go through of where's Joe. He's taken the afternoon off. So that's a bit inconsiderate of him, I thought.
I'm not surprised.
I still think he's worried he's going to get called and have to wear the kookaburra costume on Monday.
Yeah, sending in some costume props for him.
So if you've got any suggestions of what you'd like to see Joe in on Monday, preferably kookaburra themed, when he loses this bet, put them in the comments.
Preferably something we can get before Monday.
Alrighty, so I've got one here from Aussie. That video certainly got my heart racing. Oh, must be referencing the big unboxing.
Yeah.
The insanity that was. So the video certainly got my heart racing. Excellent work. By the way, boss's prerogative. Michael was opening all the platinum and fractionals, whereas poor Matt got stuck with the 100 ounces of
I
kilo
just
bars.
didn't think it through.
Somebody noticed, mate.
Yeah.
Joe and I took a lot of planning to slide him into that without realising.
Yep. Oh, Matt, you get your whole corner. It'd be great. You know, look at all the boxes you get.
My Christmas days are going to be a bit anticlimactic after that.
Yeah, me too.
Alrighty, I got another one. This is from Colin. Thanks, Michael. I have a question for today's live stream, possibly more for Matt. Are there any circulated Australian $1 and $2 coins that are considered collectible and may be worth more than their face value, or do they all have to be in uncirculated mint condition to be considered collectible?
That is a good question, and you get a broad range. So generally, an easy starting point for that is the coloured $2 coins, the first of which was 2012 with the red poppy. And to answer the question of quality, so uncirculated, you will get more money for a higher quality coin. However, if they have been circulated and have a bit of wear on them, it's not to say that they're no longer collectible. You will just generally find that the value drops significantly. So for an uncirculated red poppy, that's about a $250 coin now, and then you can get them circulated for about $150. So still
worth pulling out of your wallet if you get one.
Yep.
But it even goes back prior to that. So if you got a $2,001 mule.
Love your mules, don't you?
I love them. Well, it's a classic
It is.
example
It is
in all
very
of these
cool.
things.
Yeah.
You know, you're talking $3,000 plus in these things.
Yep.
So, you know, and that's even for a circulated one.
Yeah.
So absolutely worth keeping your eye out for in the change. What's it called when people go through their change?
Noodling.
Noodling. Tell us what noodling is, mate.
Noodling. So if you are a noodler by hobby or by trade, you will go to the ATM dispensaries that offer the rolled coins. So you put your cash in, they'll spit out your rolls. I think it's probably a service predominantly for retail stores. I don't think that's how they are used most of the time. So people go in with their banknote, slot it in, and get the rolls, and then you just break out the rolls and sift through them. And yeah, in my previous line of work, I've spoken with all sorts of noodlers, or a varying range of intensity, you might say. So it is a very, very interesting and very cheap. Like if you're looking for something, you know, if you're stuck at home with the kids and you're at a loose end, you've done all your puzzles.
Might be in lockdown.
Who knows? You know, it's a good cheap way to start a collection as well. You know, if you go
put
through
$100 in, you take $100 back to the bank.
Yep. And the only ones that you hang on to are the ones that might be worth, you know, double, triple the face value. Money for old money.
OH&S tip though, when you're using those machines, wait till it finishes dispensing all the rolls. Don't put your hand in to grab any beforehand.
That is a very, very
'Cause it hurts.
important tip. Yeah.
For the dopiest amongst us. I've done that twice. I didn't learn the first time. P.S. Not a question for the live stream, but I'm going to ask it for the live stream.
Sure.
Can you ask Matt if he's considered European watchmakers for his collection, in particular, and I can't pronounce that, I don't know if you can, Breguet?
Breguet? I'm
Breguet
not
watches?
familiar with the
I'm
Breguet watches.
I actually am, but I don't know
Yeah.
how to pronounce them. So
Okay.
They're high end. Mid to high end.
I would say I'm probably a mid to low end kind of guy when it comes to my watch collection. It's something that I just enjoy. I love I've said before, the automatic watches. I like the movements and all that kind of thing. I like that side of it. But for the really high end stuff, I admire it from a distance. I go down those rabbit holes on YouTube and watch all the in-depth reviews and the analysis of them and how they work, how they're made, all that kind of stuff. But maybe down the line, you know, as my career progresses and I get to those
You're not admitting
levels.
on camera about that $250,000 watch you bought?
Jeez. Oh, I don't know.
Alrighty, what else have we got up here? From Joshua Carnell. Will there be any more myths and legends do you know of? We've got Matt, the myth and legend, sitting right here.
Yeah, imagine that. Matt and Michael coins.
Yeah. It's not the Fry. It's not Fry. Who's
Little John.
Little John.
Little
Thank
John,
you.
yeah, I always think Fry Tuck as well. It's the first thing, first place my
Little
mind
John's
goes.
coming out, and we're not sure if that's the last or not. I actually thought it was a 5-coin set. Joe's convinced it's a 3-coin set. So there could be more after that, but it's sorry.
Another bet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not on that one. I'm not confident enough to place a bet on that
It
one.
depends on if they want to keep it in the Robin Hood sphere of things, or if they
Yeah.
can branch it out, you know, King Arthur, or, you know, there's other British myths and legends they can do, and the fact that it's a very broad sounding name, myths and legends, as opposed to, you know,
Maybe it'll be
the Robin
myths
Hood
and
series.
maybe it'll be a series based one though. So there'll be like a series 2 where they do King Arthur. That'd be cool.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Boris Johnson set myths and legends.
Yeah.
I've just alienated another half of our
Famous hairdos. Yeah.
Oh, that'd be a great coin
Wouldn't it?
series.
Yeah. It's like a silhouette of hair. Work out who it is.
Alrighty, what else have we got in here? I'm being stupid now. Queensland store would be great. Yeah, it would.
I'd like that.
Yeah, I can admit to that now.
On the Gold Coast.
There's a top Aussie noodling vlog on YouTube called PJ's Coin Capers.
Yeah.
I used to watch that.
Yeah.
We should interview him or you should, the Royal We,
Yeah.
interview him and see if he noodles bullion coins at all.
Yeah. Well, that would be an interesting one.
But it would
Something a
certainly-
bit different.
I actually think it'd be great to bring him across onto the channel. We
Yeah.
should we should have a crack at that one, mate.
Yep. Sounds like a plan.
There's a few questions about the specifics on Monday and like what's going to be available for pre-order, what's not.
As in
what's
the kookaburras?
Yeah, the kookaburra. What's
Okay.
actually going to be in. I've tried to clarify one by text, but yeah, if you could just quickly go through that.
All right, so Monday, for anyone who hasn't realised, so that will be Monday the 11th, won't it? Monday the 11th of October is release date for the Perth Mint 2022 Kookaburra series. So we've seen the design. We had the big party for the design with the koala and the kangaroo and the tiger. But the Kookaburra's official release date is this Monday. We will absolutely have them available on our website. We'll have them available on via phone, so 1300 84 84 10, or via email, sales@bullionnow.com.au. However, they will be a pre-order on the 1 ounce because Perth Mint still haven't dispatched our order, even though we got it in immediately. So they're behind on their dispatching. So it will be pre-order, but they absolutely will be available. We've got a confirmed allocation. We know exactly how many we're going to get. It's just that they haven't arrived. And I'm hoping they'll be in by late next week, although I haven't actually been given a dispatch notice yet. So we're actually not sure if they're going to be here next week. It may be the week after, but they will absolutely be available for pre-order. The 10 ounce and the 1 kilo one, Perth Mint are being particularly evasive on the release on when they will be available for ordering. So you will not be able to order the 10 ounce or the kilo. You will only be able to pre-order the 1 ounce 2022 Kookaburra at this stage.
Good stuff.
Does that answer the question? We're all happy with
so.
that?
I'm curious, and I don't know if you can answer this off the top of your head, Michael. How much do you think that unboxing was worth? And you said because there was a lot of stuff, there was a lot of bulk stuff out the back as well that wasn't on camera, just because we couldn't physically be bothered bringing it out. Ballpark?
Honestly, I have no idea. I would guess it'd be 7 figures. Yeah, I'd be amazed.
Why didn't we make that the title? Over $1 million unboxing? That's
We've
nuts.
done $1 million unboxings before.
Yeah,
This is such a...
I'm standing on one of them with a couple of bags of gold
yeah.
that's over $1 million.
I don't know if I worked here for that.
No, that was...
I remember watching that as a punter.
It'd be 18 months ago at least. Stand by next week. We're doing a joint release for a...
Yeah! Oh, that's going to be so good.
Do you want to kick that off? Bit of an explanation
yeah,
behind it?
a little coin shop BN crossover unboxing. I almost don't want to do it because I don't want it to go. I will say no more. I'll leave it at that. It's going to be nuts. I'm very excited about that.
We've been incredibly lucky. We've crawled, grovelled and sucked to Perth Mint.
Yep.
And they've allowed us... the privilege. They've allowed us the privilege of having one of their incredibly limited releases. It's one of 10 coins that they've produced, and we got one, and we're going to unveil that next week. So the gold version, which we're going to unveil next week, and we'll do the joint showing on, is one of 10, and then we've actually got silvers coming in. Can you remember the mintage numbers on the silvers?
Off the top of my head, 1,500 comes to mind.
Yeah,
I could be making that up. I'm probably making that up.
It's a pretty small mintage
small,
on the silver as well, and
Yeah.
we're lucky enough to grab 3 of those as well. So if you're into that sort of stuff, stay tuned. Next week we'll do that joint release with a little coin shop on that coin, and it's a mouth waterer.
Even if you're not into it, just have a look. You'll see me freaking out.
Yeah.
You see me have a little mental breakdown with excitement.
It's not bad when you've got one coin that's worth over 100k.
Yeah.
And you'll see why when you see it next week. But it's incredibly limited. You won't see them anywhere else in the world. Like I said, it's one of 10 being produced.
Yep. Oh, I can't wait. Now, I can't think straight now. I'm going to try and read a question.
Did you see the one?
Can you ask Matt?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, that one.
I would need a hand in pronouncing the name,
Yeah,
but
don't skip the name, mate.
New Zealand
The stacker from New Zealand.
Yep. What do I think about the Seymour Panther? I'll be honest, I was very sneaky. I just looked it up as you were providing another answer. It looks awesome. That looks like a really cool release. And if they're doing it in a bullion form,
It's the next one from the Queen's Beast.
Okay, so they will be doing a bullion series as well, then I take it. That will be really cool. I love all that kind of stuff. It has a very regal feel to it. I like that kind of style. Although the animal looks a little strange. I don't know about the spots on it.
There you go. He answered Biwa for sure or something like that. I might be butchering that.
Oh, okay.
Is it a? Oh, it is a panther. I was going to say,
panther.
isn't it a griffin? But it's not. It's a panther. So
I'm sure there's a logical explanation for the spots, but
it's got measles.
Yeah, it looks a little strange. But I do like that kind of artistry, that kind of style.
Well, the original. I'm pointing at things that you can't see on the camera.
Yeah.
But the original statue that they've taken it from has got the spots as well. It may be armour.
Oh yeah. A little bit of research might be required. I'm sure they always do really cool, informative. The Royal Mint do by far the most informative BU coins. So these are the brilliant uncirculated base metal coins. They come in a folder, and there's usually a couple, like 4 or 5 fold-out panels with a lengthy explanation as to the theme of the coin. So who knows, maybe Little Coin Shop will get some of those in, and then I'll learn all about it. That's what I used to do back in the day, just flip through all those big fold-outs. They're really informative, so I like some of the Royal Mint stuff.
This is not meant as an insult to the whole country. It's actually a compliment, but you may not take it that way. But the Poms do incredible jobs of detail in collecting things.
Yeah.
They take it to the next level. They really do. So when they produce something for collecting, whether that be a Matchbox car or a coin or anything like that, the detail they go to and the information they give you around it is huge.
Yeah.
And then you go, I love being in the UK because over there, you walk into a newsagent's and they have magazines for collecting of the most obscure things.
Yeah.
And there's a whole movement that collects them
Yeah.
in the UK, and the degree and the detail that they carry it through with is unbelievable. I take my hat off for them. That wasn't meant as an insult if any of you took it that way.
I think that's a very well put compliment. I think you're right. There is any rabbit hole you can go down. I in Sydney acquired a spoon collection.
Yep.
The detail that some spoon collectors get into is unreal. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
You know, you can get a Rolex spoon.
What?
Yeah, I had a collection of Rolex spoons come through.
Seriously?
Oh, really cool. Yeah, something a bit different.
I'll say.
Yeah.
Who made them?
Rolex. Yeah.
They were actually
It's
genuine.
the Rolex of spoons. For real. Yeah.
It's rather odd.
It is. Something for everyone.
Another comment. I don't know why rare coins like the 5-ounce ox, 10-ounce cook, 1-ounce play tiger aren't listed on websites unannounced. Limit one per person as fair as it gets. It is and it's not, because what happens is A, the website crashes. We've had that happen. And B, we get I was at work. It wasn't in my time zone. It's all these sorts of things. And it doesn't matter which way we do it. We're going to upset someone. We kind of find this way we give people plenty of time to send in an email, plenty of time to have a go at it, and we make people aware of the fact that, okay, we've got them, and this is how we're doing it, but other websites, other stores will have them, so it gives you a chance to go to other stores as well and have a crack at getting it off their website, and they've probably done what you've just suggested. They've just released them. So we kind of figure it takes the best of both worlds when we can't satisfy the demand all ourselves.
Yeah. Nice Post is curious as to what you guys would say your favourite 1-ounce silver bullion coin to stack is. What do you got?
Stack.
Yep.
If I'm taking it as stacking, I kind of don't care. I'm just looking for best bang for the buck.
Yeah, but when you look at your own stack, what sends your heart into a flutter?
What would you keep last if you had to sell?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
What's the just the standard bullion coin that would be the last to go?
I got lots of them.
Yeah, wow, total shocker. I'll go first then. You're hopeless.
You go. Yeah.
The Canadian maple. I love the maples, and I've said before that was the first tube I ever bought. Before even understanding many people's motivations for accumulating silver, just purely because I was collecting stamps and coins, and then people said, you can also buy silver coins. I did not know anything about spot price or anything like that. I just thought, oh yeah, they come in a nifty tube. I'll get that. And as soon as I got it, I thought, whoa.
High-tech buying decision
Yeah,
there.
no, I'm
nifty tube.
I'm a simple man.
Still with the packaging on the box there.
Exactly. Yeah, you see me with anything inflatable, like the bubble wrap. Love it.
For Christmas Day,
Yeah.
it's like, wow, look at the packaging this came in.
Yeah. So what have you got? So in that sense, what?
It would be easier for me to answer what would I get rid of first.
Oh well, yeah. Make up your own question then.
I'm a simple man. I would get rid of my kangaroos first.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'd be the same for sure.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan. But the other ones I'd really struggle with. I love the maples. Love the Britannias. I think they're a fantastic coin.
Yep.
Love the Philharmonics. I love the detail that they get on a basic stacker coin.
Yep.
It's fantastic. Actually, the second run in there, I'd probably ditch my Eagles. I'm not a big Eagle fan.
Yep.
Having said that, the Type 2 Eagle, I love the design on the Type 2 Eagle.
Really?
So I might change my opinion over
cool.
time. So, but yeah, a lot of the others, ho-hum.
Yep.
But it's probably in order of getting rid of first, it'd be kangaroos or eagles. It'd be a toss-up between the two.
Yep. Oh, good stuff.
I think you'd be hard pressed to get rid of the Darth Vaders.
Vaders are never going anywhere.
Vaders probably will never go anywhere. I love
Did they
the
do any
Vaders.
larger Vaders? Was it just the 1 ounce?
No, so that I'm aware of.
Imagine
It's
a kilo
unreal.
Vader.
Oh, with that mirror finish, it'd be great to collect. It'd be a mongrel to
Not
sell,
meant
though.
and to deal with, Get a fingerprint on that. See ya. Off you go.
Oh, dear. Maybe we should get one of those Death Star ones, the kilo.
Yeah, that'd be really interesting. There's some things you could do with that, I'm
That's
sure.
right, yeah. AY for stacking. If you're Aussie, it has to be the 1 ounce kangaroos or generic bars. Anything else you're paying too much for and getting less investment volume of metal. Yeah. So this is where I start to separate a little from the traditional stacking community, because I think, and I always get accused of you're a dealer, of course you'd say this, but I actually think paying the premium for a coin, for certain coins, it's far better. You're getting far more of a bargain by paying more for your coin than for a bar, or even some of the, i.e. the kangaroo coins. I'm not a big fan of. They are absolutely, in our shop, they're absolutely the cheapest stack of coin that you can buy, and I would say they are too expensive. I would rather pay $5-10 more and get a kookaburra and that type of thing, and I think you are getting a bargain getting the kookaburra at release price or the tiger at release price than paying full price for a kangaroo.
I would tend to agree with that, unless, of course, it's the very first purchase. I like that idea of starting out with the bare bones basics.
Yeah.
From there, the sky's the limit, and the kind of stuff that I like to collect is very far. Ruben and I were laughing the other day when I bought a silver coin. It was $8 or $9 in silver value, but it was well over $1,000. But you can get into those wild premiums in the numismatic field. But I think having that foundation allows, or for me, it gave me the freedom to go into those higher premium bullion coins with the comfort that I've got a foundation that's sort of stable, and that's my baseline. From there, you just have a lot of fun with it.
Yeah. Yeah, look, I do. And there's a difference between, your $1,000, that's got barely any metal in it, and, your kookaburras. You're really entering a different realm. I guess what I'm saying is, I think you're far better off buying a bullion, paying a little bit more for a bullion coin that has the potential to develop collector premium than buying a standard bullion lump that's never going to go anywhere but spot.
Yep, totally agree. And I love that. And I feel like that's a sweet spot for me as well with my stacking lately, is the semi-numismatic stuff that does have that potential, but also gives me that enjoyment. I love that kind of thing, like having something a little different that you can look at. I go home, I show my fiance, and maybe 1 in 10, she says, "Oh, that's nice." So, you take the small wins where you can get them.
Yeah, that's right. We should do a whole series on stacking and partners.
Yeah, what does your partner think? Yeah, and what does it take to get them to actually look and smile and say, "Yeah, nice one."
Yeah.
For me, it's about a 10% hit rate.
Not what the heck are you doing with our money?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, that was a waste.
Yeah, good on you. I'm going out to buy something decent.
Yep.
Now, we've got this stack of books here for a reason, and we should touch on it because we're going to have to wrap up fairly soon.
Yeah, sure.
So what we've actually done here, we try and have a bit of a centerpiece every week. It doesn't always work, but we try and have a bit of a centerpiece. So this week we've got some books as a centerpiece, which doesn't sound like it's anything flash until you start looking at them. So we have one of the guys here particularly is very much into storing your wealth in plain sight. And it's actually a really good discussion to have, and we should do a video on it one day.
Yeah.
Far more. So this is, Rubes, if you can, it weighs quite a lot. This one's actually solid silver, I understand. I didn't actually look at the finer detail on it, but I'm pretty sure it's solid silver. And for all intents and purposes, when you look at it from the spine particularly, it looks like a standard book. So if you stuck this on your bookshelf, no one would actually tell, unless they tried to pull it off your bookshelf, that it wasn't just a standard run-of-the-mill book. So there's some real value in storing your precious metals instead of in a safe, instead of hidden away, all those types of things, to actually store it in your house or in your office or somewhere like that, disguised as something like a book or a basic ornament or anything along those sort of lines, but still have the wealth there. So if someone does do the thing that we never like talking about and breaks in and tries to steal something, they're not actually going to go through your bookshelf and pull off all the recipe books and see if they're legit and pull off all the I don't know, whatever other books you've got sitting on your shelf to find the one that's 3 or 4 kilos of silver or gold in whichever case it may be. So that's kind of why we said it there. It was just to kind of thought provoke and maybe a bit of a talking piece of actually different ways you can store your metals and different ideas that people have come up with. And this one is a great one.
Very, very clever.
And if you're into that sort of thing or you want to talk to anyone about it, come and see us and we can put you in contact with people who specialise in this type of thing.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Good fun.
Yeah, it is a lot of fun. Take another couple of questions and then we'll disappear.
Yep. I don't know, have you plucked any winners, DJ? You seen anything that jumps out at you?
Sorry, there was a bit of an issue. Someone hasn't got an email and I was just trying to...
Oh, okay. I thought you were trying to pick out a winner for me.
I am.
Someone let us know about the price of a killer Death Star.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
Interesting.
If anyone's got a line on a cheap one, I tried to convince Ruben when they were released that we should get one, and he was dead against it, and he just argued with me, and he just wouldn't allow us to get one.
Can I pass to Ruben?
We need to get a scratch and dent one or something.
So I finally convinced him, and of course they're all sold out. So not good enough. So Maximilian says, what happened to the half-ounce platinum eagles in the slabs? Will they be listed on the website? Probably will be listed on the website. We separated them out. I mentioned it very briefly in the unboxing video of them.
Yeah.
Because they're slabbed, they have to incur GST in this country. So I didn't want them getting mixed up with the unslabbed ones that we don't have to charge GST on and getting punted out the door accidentally. So we actually isolated them off and we will probably make them available very, very soon. Including GST. So you're going to see there's a price increase because we have to charge the GST on them. But actually, because they're slabbed, I think they're still... I mean, half-ounce platinums, eagles are hard to find full stop because as far as I'm aware, they don't make them anymore.
I'm not too sure, but you're also saving yourself slabbing fees and waiting at this rate. 6 months is a standard turnaround time on getting something slabbed.
Yeah, from
with,
Australia.
And with current turnaround times, you say, you're probably saving yourself a year of waiting to get your...
Tell me what happened with the last one you got slabbed, mate.
Last one... which one?
The one that you were recently telling me about.
With my incident.
Yeah, your incident.
So I had an incident, right? This is an interesting story. I acquired an old proclamation coin that was in a slab from an auction house. And it turned up and I was all excited, much like the Bullion unboxing video. I was like a kid in a candy store. And Ruben heard me getting all bent out of shape and wanted to know what had happened. And I noticed PCGS slabs, for those that don't know, they are plastic slabs, rectangular slabs that coins get put into. They both authenticate and attribute a numerical grade to the coin, so on a scale of 1 to 70, known as the Sheldon scale.
After the...
Dr. Sheldon, I forget his first name. Not Big Bang Theory.
Yeah, Big Bang Theory.
So part of the process is they also have a holographic sticker on one side, so they have the title with the numerical grade, and then on the other side is their signature holographic little tamper evident seal.
This wasn't the example I was going for, but keep going.
That's what I was trying to clarify. I didn't know which story we're talking about, but we're here now. The whole holographic sticker had been obliterated.
So what?
That's what some people would say. I was devastated. I couldn't believe it. So I've sent it back.
Yes, as interesting as that one was, it was nowhere near what I was going to.
Full of stories.
Well, exactly. That's why I'm trying to clarify. I said, which one? I could go all day about.
So much we had to work out.
Slab stories, yeah.
So you sent some coins off to get slabbed, and one of them came back with needing to be...
PVC residue.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
this
that's
is
probably a
after-
whole video in itself.
Well,
I find it's really interesting.
The abbreviated version, you sent this thing off, you waited 6 months for it to come back.
Yeah.
It came back, and...
I got bent out of shape again. It said, this coin has PVC residue. We can fix this up and remove it and slab it for you. If you want, we'll charge you a fee. Just send it back again.
Yeah, so after 6 months...
Cool. We'll send it back. It'll do a U-turn.
Go all the way back to the
all in all,
States.
it's going to take me over a year to get it back. We'll have to do some sort of explanation. I'll go over some of that stuff in a video because it is very interesting, and the process is tedious at times. So it's very interesting, and you learn a lot through submitting coins for grading, and it certainly helps me to refine my ability to grade coins. But gee whiz, there's a few moving parts there.
Quickly, just before we finish, someone wants to know if there's anywhere in Australia that does it, or if it's all overseas.
There are no reputable grading services in Australia. There have been a few who have tried it. Some have been very knowledgeable. Unfortunately, the scale that PCGS operates at, it's the name. It's unbelievable. They've slabbed...
it's uncompetable with.
Well, that's it, because their offices are operating 24/7, quite literally 24/7. They are just churning through coins, and they have all of the top experts from all around the world on their staff. So you can have one individual who's a credible grader, but they're passing it through at least 3. Any coin that you get slabbed, it's going through at least 3 expert opinions, and they're reaching a consensus on it. So there have been some that have tried in Australia, but unless you are the absolute best at grading, which is, with just one person's opinion, that is, it's not, it's just too hard. I think it would take a lot. And what you would need is a panel of expert graders in Australia. The problem is a lot of them run competing businesses. Yeah. So you would need them to all align and allocate every waking hour of their day to grading your coins, and I don't know if the Australian market could facilitate that. I don't know if we have the demand.
Not to the level of PCGS or even NGC.
That's right. The whole world just all funnels in there, and they do such a good job of it, despite the fact that I complain about turnaround times. Once it's done, you have, you can take it anywhere in the world, and there's no question of authenticity and things like that. So there is a lot of value in it in that sense, but I wouldn't deal with any of the Australian authentication companies that are currently out there. It doesn't give me the level of confidence that I would like.
Just to touch on it, is there fake PCGS out there as well?
Yes, there are.
Yeah, there is. You've got to be careful with it.
You can also check on their website. That's one of the other things. You can put in the serial number and check, and there will be a photograph of that particular coin. So you should be able to tell pretty quickly if you're dealing with a dud.
Yeah. Gilly McGillface, Perth Mint's still going to do again the 1 ounce silver kangaroo bars. Short answer is we certainly expect so. My biggest gripe is that they never do enough, and they're not dated, so I don't know why.
I was going to say there's no year on them, so
I don't know why they're not a staple, that they don't just keep producing them. They never have, and as far as I'm aware, they never will do. They seem to do 1 to 2 runs a year of them, and they're very limited runs.
Yep.
And then they're done for, and I mean, they're fantastic. To me, they're better than the 1 ounce kangaroo coins.
They look really cool, Anytime something a bit different comes through.
I don't know why they don't keep doing them, but they don't. But we fully expect them to do them again next year. I think we probably need to tie it up there.
I think so. I think I've probably got some emails to reply to, some phone calls to make. Lead me into the weekend nicely.
So we're done again. So thanks for watching. As you will have noticed, there was no special on this week, but there probably will be next week, I'd assume. So we probably just lost 90% of our viewers right at that point there. Stay tuned next week, which will be the 15th of October. We'll tune in again at 2:30 Australian summertime, daylight savings time, I think it's called officially.
Yep.
So hopefully Joe will be back by then, and the 3 of us can. Maybe we should do 3 of us on the camera at the same time.
Yeah, cool. We'll have a full party.
Yeah,
Let's do an outdoors one. It gets so hot in this office. I don't know. Ruben and DJ may not like that idea. Take it to the streets,
I still
Michael.
think we should take it down to the street, but everyone gets toey about that. But anyway, it's all good. That's it for this week. Thanks for tuning in yet again. We are incredibly thankful and consider ourselves privileged to appear in front of the screen for you and entertain you for an hour.
Yeah.
Again, you got any questions, live, actually send them through to live. live@bullionnow.com.au. You can shoot through questions. We'll try and answer them next week when we're live again. Or you can put them in the comments. I usually try and review the comments when we do Michael's mailbox once a week and comment on anything that's brought up that we haven't answered. And that's it from me, unless you've got anything to add, Matt.
That's it. It's been a lot of fun. Thanks for having me on.
All right. We'll see you next time.